Apologize for the very low quality of this video. I don't have a computer capable of recording anymore. That's why you haven't seen a video from me in a very long time. I decided to do something different that I don't normally do. I got a Smok Guardian V2 E-pipe. And this thing is so incredibly unusual that I decided to do a video on it. Just simply because this is strange. But I decided to do a video to explain what it is, how it works, where you can buy it, how much it costs, any good, negative qualities about it, in my opinion. So, I guess the first thing I should mention is, if you can tell, if I can get the camera to focus, well, up here you have the readouts. One side is lower, one side is higher. These are your voltages, your wattages. You hit this cap, so you make sure the light is visible to you. There's a light right in this area. You hit it 5 times to turn it on, and you hit it 3 times to change the wattage from lower to higher. White light is low wattage, blue light is high wattage. The lowest possible wattage is 7 watts, the highest possible wattage is 15. So 3 turns it to low. Come on. And now it's on high. This uses an Aspire Nautilus mini tank. I've tried 3 different fluids in here. I'm going to explain my experience with it. This right here is actually just a very, very long drip tip. We can pull this off, and you can see the drip tip here. It's just a metal pipe. And the tank, of course. This does use 2 different types of threading. So you could put a different drip tip on there, a different tank on there, but I would not recommend switching to anything above an Aspire Nautilus Mini, just simply because the wattage on here is very low. So there's the Aspire Nautilus Mini right there. That this usually comes with it. So it has a 510 threading, and you can take this sidebar off here, which turns it into ego threading, which is great for things such as RDAs. I would not do an RDA on here. I just wouldn't. Even if it has the capability, it's a good way to, well, blow yourself up. This doesn't have a circuit protection, short protection. This is what I would definitely consider an advanced vape. It is not quite direct connect, but it is very, very close to it. You would need to incorporate all the safety features you could. You might hear my cat in the background. Again, no computer and no room to work in anymore. My cat's probably going to get in the video. Sorry about that. So, as for the battery, this part right here, you turn this, and you see the black dot. That's telling you what wattage or voltage you're on. But then there's the dotted one around it. If you grab that and turn it, it's quite heavily threaded, actually. This is heavy. I should tell you that this pipe is actually quite heavy. It takes an 18350. These go out of power really quickly, so you'll have to charge them quite a bit. But put that back in there. I'm going to hit on this a couple times, show you how much vapor it produces, and then I'll explain the fluids I've tried it with and my experience. Then I'll give you an idea where you can buy it and how much it costs. So first thing I'm going to do is set this to the highest wattage, so you can see the maximum amount of vapor it'll produce. The fluid I have in it right now is a 50 VG, 50 PG blend. Salt nicked. I don't like salt nicked. It's a bit harsher, so you might hear me cough. But it was the only 50-50 blend that I could find. So, this is how much vapor it produces. Oop, forgot to turn it on. And you have to hold down this button to fire. That's also the firing pin. And it is clicky. I actually like the clickiness. I've heard other people say they don't, but I like to know if it fires in my pocket. I don't think it produces that much vapor, and the vapor is very warm. I don't like the warm vapor. Its airflow is very, very small. That little hole is the only airflow it's got, which is not good airflow. and you have to take multiple hits before you can actually push out any vapor. Again, not a fan of that. I'd rather have a direct lung, but this is a mouth to lung, and just not a fan of that. The particular fluid I have in here is the 50-50 salt blend of Salt Bay. This particular was watermelon. I don't taste any watermelon. Normally I would. And this has so far produced the most vapor, probably because it's a 50-50. I tried this one as well. This is a 70-30 blend. And I got no vapor at all from this and no flavor. This is pretty terrible in this particular vape. And then I tried this one, which is a 90-10. This is primarily VG blend. And this one, I mean, I got vapor, not as much as the 50-50, and I couldn't taste anything. No flavor at all. So honestly, I would go with more of a high PG, maybe a 70 PG. 20 or 30 VG would be fine. You want to do less VG in these, obviously, more PG. That way you can taste your flavor and have a higher amount of vapor. These things just aren't strong enough to push out that much in terms of flavor. So, Luna. So, anyway, the battery, it takes about 5 to 6 hours to charge the battery. The battery's not all that high quantity. Say hi to Luna. The battery's not all that high quantity, so it's not, you know, a flawless system. Quality, sorry, not quantity. It doesn't have a lot of power, doesn't push out a lot. It's a very weak battery. Also, it takes about 5 to 6 hours to fully charge the battery on a Nicar interchangeable system, which is ridiculous because I can charge an 18650 in 45 minutes to 2 hours on the same system, and this is a quarter of the size and half the power of an 18650, so that's pretty sad. Now, does it look really nice? Yeah. Weight and feel, it's very heavy, and I do mean heavy. This thing weighs a lot. It probably weighs over a pound, but it feels very good in the hand. It is very comfortable. It doesn't have any way to lock the pin though, so you don't want to just stick this in your pocket without taking the battery out first. So I bought this particular one on smokshop.com. It's they're a pretty decent store. They're located in China. They used to be located in America, which means that it's going to take a while for your shipping to happen. And the customer service, although they are there, they are representative, their English is not all that good. But they're a decent shop. The item came in about a month and a half, is how long it took for the item to arrive. It cost $89 for the full kit. I also bought a spare coil and an interchangeable battery on it, as well as another charging kit, because mine was getting old. Came to a grand total of $129, something like that. So, smokshop.com. I would definitely say if you're a beginner vapor and you want a more advanced vape, then this would be a good way to go. If you're an advanced vapor, I would skip this one. It looks nice, it's really pretty, but it's also really shitty quality. It's really low quality. But yeah, in terms of do I like it? I mean, yeah, actually, I think I do. In terms of would this be my everyday regular vape? No, in fact, I'd probably go with something like a TSV-8 if I wanted to do a tank system. I'd rather do a Prince stick than something like this. But in terms of if I'm out and about and I'm wearing a suit and I want to look really dressy, but I still want to vape, this is actually a good way to go, where that TSV-8 Prince stick looks like I'm a bum on the street. Maybe a better vape, but it doesn't look very nice. So this gives a nice good look. And the drip tip in here is actually pretty freaking sturdy, really hard to get off. I do have a problem with this being a glass tank, but you could probably swap that with a Nautilus's metal webbed tank or a Nautilus's striped metal tank. So you'll have a metal tank, maybe even a T-tank in here. So you don't need to have glass, and if you can't afford anything but the Nautilus Mini's glass tank, you could probably get some vape glass protection bands and wrap that around it. Wouldn't be great, but would work. But yeah, all in all, I'd say quality-wise, middle ground, not high. Fashion sense-wise, it looks amazing. It feels amazing. It's really comfortable in the hand. Yeah, I mean, if I had to rate it, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I'd probably give this one a 6.5. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. I'd say my biggest gripes about it overall, if I were Smok, the ones I'd fix. Number 1, I'd give it more airflow, because that's really terrible. I'd reduce the weight of the main body here. That's pretty hefty. And that is wood, by the way. It's molded wood, so it's basically wood that's been molded like plastic. But it is still wood. Yeah, I'd fix the weight. I'd give it more airflow. I would increase the battery capacity. This chamber is big enough to hold more than 1 battery, while you have a single battery in here, which limits what you can do. Yeah, my only warning to those who want to buy one of these is don't just put any tank on here. If it comes with an Aspire Nautilus Mini, use an Aspire Nautilus Mini. Because if you're not familiar with Ohm's Law, wattages, voltage drops, etc., because this has no real safety features, you could definitely have an explosion or a fire on your hands, and nobody wants that. So use what comes with it, unless you're an advanced vapor, and even then, do take some precautions and understand what exactly you're putting on this. I don't want to be responsible for anybody doing something stupid. But with that, it's okay.